Greetings, ASA members. Don't touch that dial. So says the TV and radio announcers as they cut to a commercial. And so say I to the State Board of Education as they review the A through F formula. What dial am I considering? The dial or pendulum between growth and proficiency. Arizona currently places a high value, compared to many states, on growth scores in its A through F formula. Perhaps not as much as some would like, but certainly more than others would advocate. Currently, though, we have some advocates starting to push for a greater role in proficiency scores. Before touching that dial, I suggest those advocates look at the most recent research. For example, an NWEA study published in October 2018, 1 month ago, looked at 1,500 randomly selected schools. The study by Dr. Andy Hedges was called Evaluating the Relationship Between Poverty and School Performance, and it confirms that growth metrics more closely reflect educators' true contributions without introducing much bias based on the poverty level of the students they serve. And it provides a more accurate reflection of school performance. So how should a state use proficiency and growth? Economist Nirav Kingsland, in the October 5th issue of the Flypaper blog published by the Fordham Institute, argues against proficiency and contends that if a state just up and closed the bottom 5% of schools based on their absolute proficiency scores, well, nearly 80% of those schools would be closed by mistake because guess what? They have high growth scores. He points out that almost half of the states in the country now do use growth scores as well as proficiency, but most weigh the growth only 33%. And that is too little. On the other hand, this means a lot of states are unfairly rating high poverty schools that have decent growth but low absolute scores. Kingsland suggests 2 scores, one for growth, one for proficiency. And he asserts that state intervention should only occur in schools that have low scores in both proficiency and growth. So beware when advocates come to Arizona arguing for the State Board of Education to dial back on proficiency. Proficiency does not indicate school quality, as the majority of serious researchers confirm. Remember, David Griffith and Michael Petrelli argued in 2016 that those measures, proficiency, are strongly correlated with student demographics and prior achievement, and they believe those measures should count at most for only 25%. Those are 2 of the most conservative scholars who strongly believe in charter school reform, and they say 25%, and they're charter school advocates. Finally, let's switch subjects. We're still on proficiency, but now we're not talking school rating. Now we're talking teacher rating, and maybe it is time to touch the dial when it comes to proficiency scores and teacher rating. If proficiency scores do not reflect the full value of schools, do they reflect the value of teachers? A new study, very new, the winter of 2019, in the journal Education Next, finds that while teachers have notable effects on both test scores and non-cognitive skills, their impact on non-cognitive skills is 10 times. What? Yes, 10 times more predictive of students' longer-term success in high school than their impact on test scores. I'm going to quote this now. These results provide hard evidence that measuring teachers' impact through their students' test scores captures only a fraction of their overall effect on student success. Using test scores captures only a fraction of teachers' overall impact on student success. So, it's time to take a look at dialing back the use of test scores on teacher evaluation, because those scores don't indicate the teacher impact on student success. Touch the dial where it regards teacher evaluation. Don't touch the dial, or touch it with care when it regards school quality. Now you can touch the dial on your computer and turn me off.